Greetings, Commanders! Welcome to a top 5 video. Thought I'd never do a top 5 video, but we're doing one. But we need to do one, because the content today's, they don't warrant their own videos, and I need to talk about them, because we all talk about them every wink, especially with the new members coming into the community. So let's tackle the top 5 mysteries in Ark of War, and they relate to Sky Kingdoms too, but mostly Ark of War, just because this is the main platform. Okay, starting it off real fast. Mystery number 1. People complain about shields breaking early. When I say shields, I mean protected shields. Like, they log off at night, they set a 12-hour shield, and then they come back the next day, 10 hours later, and they're getting hit, and all of a sudden they're zeroed, or they lost all their resources, and they're all mad, and they go, I put a 12-hour shield on, and I logged in 10 hours later, and my shield has fallen off. And people will say, like, it's because I attacked a capital, or it's because I pulled back from a tile, or it's because there was a bug in the game, or some people will say, which I think is the most likely, is that you probably did pop a shield and you were lagging and you shut your game down before the client caught it. So even though you thought you shielded, you didn't shield fast enough. But you'll say, no, I played for 10 minutes after it was on. Listen, long story short is we've never had any proof of anyone being able to say, I put a 12-hour shield on and logged in 10 hours later and my shield was down. It's never been proven. It's been claimed once a week. We see it all the time. And it's a really hard thing to prove, and I don't want to call people liars because, you do things sometimes. Like, I've attacked tiles and lost a shield, and I could swear that it never gave me the warning I would lose my shield, but I'm sure it did because that's how code works. But long story short, we've never had proof of the shield dropping bug. So whenever someone claims they did it, odds are they probably didn't, and if it happens again, tell them to start screen capping their shields before they log off at night. Okay, mystery number 2. Bugged monster marches. So what can happen with this bug is sometimes people will say, yeah, I was attacking a monster and my power dropped by 500,000, or I was attacking a monster and my troops weren't there the next time I went to use them. So you'll notice I just sent 300 tier 10 over there, and I'll send another 300 tier 10. Oh, I'll take them all. Another max march over there. And what's happening is the troops are all out of the game. So in the top right corner here, you see these marches. They're all leaving. They're off of my ship. They're out in the field. They're on these commanders. And when all 5 of them are gone, I will show you what's going on. So all 5 are... Oh, I can't use that commander. So 4 commanders are gone. You see all 4 up here. None of them have returned yet, but you'll see that this one at the top is going to return in 7 seconds, 6 seconds, 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds. I'm going to shut off that, and it should automatically 2, 1... go to 3. But you'll notice, there it goes. It was a second late. So the notification went from 4 to 3, about a second late. That's not bad. That's actually pretty good. But when you're attacking monsters over and over and over, and you're staying on the same screen, never changing, now it just dropped to 2. So that next march is returned. But it is possible that a march can be like stuck in the queue where it's back on your ship, and there it goes. That's a perfect one. And then it still says it's out in the field. So even though it's not, the timer's up, the game is still queued it up here above my head. So sometimes that happens, and sometimes it messes up your power rating. Sometimes it says the troops aren't available. It is a common thing. If you attack a lot of monsters on Tuesday, you've experienced this before, but it can happen at other times. The game is sometimes buffered and backed up. All you have to do to fix it is click on that notification, and it'll kind of like query the app to check its whatever signatures, whatever that is. So if you just click right there, that usually resets it. Or if you just go back to your ship and come back out. If your troops that you normally use, like if you only have the amount of troops you need to do that same attack every time and you notice they're not there, sometimes you just need to reload the app. Oh, let's not do that. I was going to reload the app for the video, but we don't need to do that. But that is a real bug. They haven't fixed it. They'll do something about it in the future, I'm sure. But for now, just know about it, and it's easy to reset it. It's not a major bug. It's not a game breaker. The third thing is fog of war breaking in the galactic battle. So, this is an old trick that we used to use in Season 1. And what you can do is if there's a capital fight going on, you can choose to garrison a capital. And if your army was in the capital when you jumped into the galactic battle, what you were able to do is go in, just like this. And now this didn't happen every time. It was just sometimes, and it still does happen occasionally, that you can leave an army in the capital stronghold, And then when you come back in, you actually have complete vision of everything on the other side. So we're winning this galactic battle, and we've already broken both strongholds. So we actually have complete vision of the map. But this is a bad scenario. This is not good for the video, but this is a bad example. But normally there's a fog of war on this side of the map, and you can't see it. But when you do the bug correctly, or when the bug affects you, you can actually see the other side, and your opponents can actually be targeted, which is terrible for your opponents because they can't defend themselves, and your biggest bosses can just start smashing them. You can set rallies on them, but it's not something that's easy to replicate. I have seen it been done in Season 4, and I think Season 5. Are we in Season 5 now? I think someone claimed they did it last week, so it's still a thing. It can still happen. And yeah, so Season 5, this bug is still going on. We don't know how to exactly replicate it. The only person that ever claimed to have done it and replicated it said it was by putting troops in the capital, but I've never been able to do it. But technically, it is a mystery, and it does happen. So if you're in a galactic battle and all of a sudden someone is sending to your ship from the opposite side of the battlefield, just know that they are probably experiencing the Fog of War glitch. They have an advantage in the matchup, and to defend yourself or ask them to leave and restart for sportsmanship, just because, you know, no one wants to be a cheater. It's funny when it happens, but don't take advantage of it too much, guys. At the end of the day, we're a small community. You're going to see each other again, and listen, it's fun to have rivalries, but you don't want to actually be an asshole, right? Okay, moving on to mystery number 4. Mystery number 4. Okay, triggering of server merges. In our game, people like to say that you can trigger a server merge by keeping the spending up on your server. If the server's profitable and players are spending money, the developers will not merge your server because the servers cost money, right? We have really nice ping. We're international, global servers, and in order to keep them running, you have to have a server with players that spend money. So people have always assumed that in order to make it so that your server does not merge with 8 other servers, you just have to have a steady flow of spending. Well, that may be true. The answer is we don't know exactly, but here is a couple factors we've noticed that seem to make it so that servers do not merge. If you have a server that spends a lot of money, you'll notice that a lot of the old servers with really big bosses on the guild, or big bosses on their server, they actually usually stick around a lot longer. So I'll give you a good example of what I mean here, and I won't get stuck on this for too long. You'll notice our server number is 367. They make a new server every day. And right now we're on server 750-ish, 750-ish. So my server is old, and there has literally been 400 servers since, 400 days since my server was made. It's been a long time since we merged. And the oldest server in the game looks like there's 240, that's WoW. 241, which is WT or ARG. I think they might be the oldest. There was some older ones a couple months ago, but they merged. But anyway, you know, eventually our server will merge, whether it be because it's not profitable, whether it be there's not enough players, whether it be because there's not enough action. These are the main factors. So spending, if the more you spend, the longer it stays. The more attacks on capitals, if like 1 or 2 guilds own other capitals, that seems to help. It doesn't hurt, at least. What else? What else? Spending, active players, and holding capitals. Those seem to be the major factors in making it so that your server does not merge. If you want a server merge, all you have to do... I'm going to get in trouble by the devs for saying this, but take your guild leaders from the top 3 guilds and go into a ticket and just simply say, hello, my name is so-and-so. I am the guild boss of such and such guild. Me and 3 other guild bosses from the top 3 guilds on our server are asking you for a server merge on behalf of over 200 players that we have asked to not individually contact you. So when the next server merge comes up, please strongly consider our server. That's the best way to do it. All you have to do is ask, right? Because they want to merge the servers because it's cheaper for them to merge servers. But they also don't want to piss players off. And they're not going to send out a poll and be like, what percentage of you want to merge? Because they don't want you to have the illusion of control. And also, what if it's like 70-30? That means 30% of people are going to feel like they voted and their vote didn't work for them, and now they're going to be extra mad. So if you really want a server merge, just ask and then see what happens. Mystery number 5. Probably the most popular mystery is, how do you get 2,000 equipment slots in your inventory, Melt? Well, if you notice right here, I have 2,000 inventory slots, not 1,000 like everyone else. And it's not because there's anything special about my cargo hold, and it's not because I spend a particular amount of money. It's not. The reason I have 2,000 equipment slots is this. I am considered an SVIP member. Look at my spending status. It's 0. But I am considered an SVIP status because of the history I've had in the game, because of the success in the game, the amount of money I've spent during certain events, and arbitrarily, developers have come in and just granted me 2,000 items. I can tell you when I got my 2,000 because I bought a Star Jewel pack, and I knew I didn't have enough inventory slots, but I bought it anyway, just kind of curious to see what would happen, and I got 2,000 items. Now, don't go doing that expecting that to happen, because it probably won't, because I've told that story to people, and they've gone and done it and said, nope, I just lost a bunch of green items, or whatever. There's no way to trigger it. You can ask developers for the SVIP consideration. Everyone I know that's asked has been told no, and as far as I know, only a handful of players per server get it. And the reason for it isn't because they particularly like someone better than another person. It's because these items actually take up a tremendous amount of space. And you're like, they're really just zeros and ones, Melt. How much space can they take up? Well, it's actually a lot, because I played 7 different accounts. And on this account, the really big account, whenever I have to reset a device and load the game for the first time, this one noticeably does take an extra minute to load on a high-end device or computer or tablet, because it's loading all that information from the server. All these are individual, unique items, and it's just a large amount of data. Will they one day make bigger equipment slots? I'm sure they will. Players have been asking. I've been asking, and it just hasn't happened yet. But that's the secret of SVIP. 2,000 inventory slots. There's no way to just get it. You can't just buy it. Players that have spent more than me don't have it. You just happen to get it one day if you're lucky. So I don't know if it was something they did like as a trial thing. I don't know if people are still getting it. But I do know that occasionally people do get waves of them. So I think spending has a lot to do with it. All right. So that's the top 5 video. Shields breaking early is probably the player's fault. Bugged monster marches are a thing. All you have to do to reset them is just click the little thing in the top right. The Fog of War and Galactic Battle can happen, but just ask your enemy to reset. Nobody wants to be a bad sport. I mean, cheating and winning like that is really bad form. Triggering server merges probably has a lot to do with spending and activity. But if you really just want a server merge, you should probably just ask on behalf of 50 people instead of asking 150 people to bother the support staff. Just say on behalf of 50 people or my guild we're asking for a merge. That should help. And then 2,000 inventory slots, guys. We know it's a thing. They've recognized that it's a thing. There's no way for just buy it. They're handing them out when they see it possible or fit. If you really want it, ask for it, but don't expect it. And until we know more, that's the end of this top 5 video. I thought it was appropriate for a top 5 because you can't do individual videos and that stuff. And I've mentioned it in live streams, but I wanted to have it official. So if you came here looking for 1 mystery, you got 4 more. And that's that. So I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe I'll do another top 5 video. I don't know. My name is Melt. Remember, peace is bad for business. Still filming. We got a bonus mystery. Bonus mystery. Compliments of item crafting gear quality. This one just pisses me off. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do the video on it, and a top 6 didn't sound right, but I was like, bonus mystery. Okay. Item crafting gear quality. A lot of people will tell you, if you want to have a really well-built item like a Titan, you have to use really good thunders to get a higher roll. Well, I use that example because it's most common. Fact is it doesn't work. We've done not hundreds, thousands at this point of different items, 100 samples, The quality of the item you destroy to make the better one absolutely has no correlation on the quality of the final product. Whatever anyone tells you, if they tell you delete one, make a sacrifice, just delete one to the nether and then build another one and you'll have better chances. They're lying. That's not how code works. That's not how luck works. The bottom line is, as soon as you click craft the item, as soon as you touch this right here, the stats are already chosen right there. They're chosen. If you want to see them, you either wait 6 hours or you speed it up. But the bottom line is that you cannot manipulate the outcome of the quality of that item, no matter what anyone tells you. However, if you want to just do it for fun and you want to do the superstitious thing, go for it. It's not hurting anybody. But when you start telling other players to damage their accounts by destroying items or making offerings, we will step in and correct you. If you're doing it for fun, tell them it's for fun. But guys, come on, stop spreading those nasty rumors. It's totally luck. It's all luck. All right, that's the end. No more bonus mystery.